would probably be job one to make sure it's safe. Dan.
So what's your thoughts here, Tom? We're going to shoot a little video today.
No, if we're going to shoot video, let's take a look up here at the other poplar to maybe secure the job site by getting the hangers out first. Because even if it wouldn't hit a person, it could hit a saw, could hit the machine. You know, property you can replace, people you can't. So
Tommy's first thought is let's get the hangers out of there so we're not walking underneath these hangers. That's basically, you don't want to be working underneath these hangers,
No.
right? Let's just talk about the tree itself.
yes.
What are your thoughts?
Well, that was a long time in coming. They should have had that removed a while ago. But besides that,
Well, should they have? Let's look at the situation. What do we got here? It's all wide open. There's nothing around here. What could this tree hurt?
it could hurt somebody cutting the lawn, a deer.
Okay, deer protection, Animal Protection Society.
protection.
I think you're right. This tree was a long time. It was definitely a long time coming.
Sure.
Clearly, let's look at this decay in here, and it being a tulip tree. All this black stuff. Someone's got to tell me what the name of this black stuff is. It looks like it's charred almost, but it's a type of very aggressive fungus. And then we have some big shrooms here, big shelf mushrooms here. They usually grow on locust tree. Look at the size of those things. They're very old because they get bigger every year. And then it being a tulip tree, it doesn't take 20 years of experience to look at this tree and think this tree's got problems and probably should come down. But the other factor is it really threatening anything?
In the larger picture, no.
It's an elderly gentleman that lives in a house here. He's probably doesn't spend a lot of time in the yard. It's not like he's got kids running around the yard. Yeah, I don't know if he's cutting the grass, someone else is cutting the grass. You know, I think that's kind of a low risk scenario. The tree clearly was a hazard, but it wasn't really threatening anything. So is it going to be cheaper for to clean it up like this, or if the tree was standing? What do you think, Tom?
No, it's cheaper like this.
Yeah. So he actually saved money by letting it fall.
He saved money.
Okay. However, one of the things I did not include in the price of the job was going up there and fishing those hangers out of that
Yes.
tree. So your original idea is nixed right now. At least we're not getting paid for it.
Okay.
So my thought is we'll use the skid loader at this point and pull everything out from underneath the tree for the most part.
Sounds like a plan.
This tree is not down. It looks like it's down, but it's not down. So we still have a very high tree up there. It looks like it's held on pretty well up there, so it's not super dangerous to be close to this thing. But if that was to fail up there, anybody underneath it and it could even roll on the way down. You know,
Absolutely.
you've seen them do that. My first thought is let's get this thing on the ground, which would mean making a cut here and getting it pulled over without having to send anybody up there. I mean, how would you like to see this tree come on the ground, Tommy? What were your thoughts?
I would do what we've been doing, whittle it down a little bit. You know, some of the upper ones, so nobody would get clobbered if it did roll.
And then the best scenario, then it's going to get a little steeper and kind of be like this,
Yeah,
you know?
like a teepee.
Yeah. And then what are you going to do?
And we put a rope on it there,
And?
then drop the whole thing.
Drop the whole thing.
Drop
Okay.
the whole thing. Make a cut through it.
Yeah. That's my sense of it too. We need to cut this thing at the base, get a rope up top, and pull this thing over with the power we've got here with the skid loader. And my thought is probably not pull it directly back, but pull it because then you'd have to, if you pulled that thing directly this way,
Yes.
right, you'd have to drag that whole top with you, right?
Absolutely.
It'd have to come back. Now it's got a little pressure that wants to come back anyhow, but my thought is we'll just pull it right about here. It's not quite perpendicular to the top there, but it'll come over fairly easy that way. And my other thought here, what kind of cut would you use on that,
You know
Tom?
what I would use? Just a back cut most of the way through, and then just
let it peel. You
Just
want to
let
make
it
a
peel
peel
down.
cut?
Peel cut.
What could go wrong with that?
I don't know. I would believe nothing.
Okay, my
Other
thought.
than pinching a saw.
That's it.
Getting a saw pinch,
Yeah,
but we have wedges and hammers,
Right,
and I
exactly.
think just
Boom.
circle around.
It should tear, absolutely. So Tommy's idea is to do a peel cut. It's not a bad idea. We're not going to need any directional control here. And the one thing you wouldn't want is to leave it unsecure in a way that, let's say you were trying to make a notch in a back cut, and all of a sudden it just went because of that pressure from the top pushing back. Yeah, the peel cut's never going to do that. Probably the notch isn't going to do that either, but it's consideration. The bar could pinch.
Yes.
And then the second thought would be that if you don't cut it far enough through, it's going to resist.
Okay.
So But by having those wedges to back you up, bang a few wedges in there, you can definitely cut it back far enough.
And plus, with the machine pulling, it should lift it up a little bit.
Oh yeah, I hear what you're saying. Like if you put your pre-tension with the machine, it'll keep the bar from pinching as well. Okay, so that all makes sense. All right, so I had a different cut in mind, but I think I'm gonna. No. I like the peel cut idea. Let's do the peel cut. And then any other thoughts?
We'll try to beat the rain.
Aha. Well, if we were really trying, we wouldn't be making this video now, would we?
Yes.
All right.
So I'm with you, Dave.
Man, let's suit up. Let's get our hard hats on, Tommy. Do we have chaps? I hope we have
Yes,
some
we
chaps.
do.
Yeah, let's go get them on. Okay. Basically just making a plunge cut and coming straight out the back. At some point we'll hit a couple wedges in there to keep it from pinching on the back side here. If it goes any way at all, it's definitely going to go that way. The top was to move it all. I was a little scared working underneath there, just natural hesitation, even though it looks super stable. So when I finish the cut, I want to be over here somewhere, no matter what. We'll also probably get a rope up there before we make our next move. So here's what we're doing. We're using, a pretty sturdy, I think that's 5/8 or 3/4 inch line there. Double braids, pretty sturdy. So I could just loop it over the top there and tie both sides to the skid loader, and we'd have a basket hitch basically, which is even stronger. But we're gonna double it up. We're gonna throw the end of this back over. Since we got plenty of rope, we don't need the height. Go ahead, Tommy. Show them the magic.
There we go. Come down.
So just a little less wear and tear in the ropes by putting more legs coming off of there. It's not that big a deal to make it happen. Obviously, this is a low tie-off point here, so we got plenty of rope here for 4 legs. All right, so we got a bull line up in that tree. There's 4 legs going to the skid loader, so the most pressure I think we're going to get with the wet grass is probably about 6,000 pounds out of that skid loader. And I'm thinking hopefully it'd be less than that, because we don't need to max the skid loader out if we just cripple this thing properly and it can pull it over. So we're going to give it a try. Go ahead, give that a try. Let's see what happens here. Let's just take a look at this peel cut here. That's all that was left on that one side. We're ready to grind the stump, so it's a lot easier than making a notch, and you didn't need a notch for controlling this like situation. This on the ground. The first thing I'm trying to do is get all these high pieces down. If something's just like this, just hanging out there like a diving board, I know I can just cut it and let it peel down. But if there's any weight on anything like that, and you cut a branch like that, that whole top could then roll on top of you. If you take these high pieces off first, it's definitely a lot safer.